Hey everyone, welcome back to Xaynew Stories, and this is AskReddit Mondays. User Goes in the Pudding asks, why are young people afraid of phone calls? I work in IT, and a general rule is nothing a client ever tells you is accurate. That means that most of the time, the quickest way to fix a problem is to call the person and actually find out what's going on. But with text under 30 these days, it seems like pulling teeth. A regular discussion for me with a level 1 tech, usually within a few years of leaving college, is, hey, can you call blah from ticket blah? It's been hanging for over an hour. They reply, I replied by email to ask for more information. I then say, yes, I know that, but can you call them so we can find the problem and close the ticket now rather than wait until we're actually busy? They reply, I'll send them a text to follow up. Again, I reply, no, call them now. They reply, I can see their device is online. Can I send them a message and see if they just let me remote in to take a look? And then when I force them to make the call, it's like they have no idea how to ask a question or a follow-up question. They just want to get off the call as soon as possible, so half the time they don't even get the information required anyway. So then, I end up having to do their job for them. For the top replies, Mugen Hunt replied, a lot of younger people have grown up with texting as the primary means of communication. Texting is seen as more polite because people can respond at their own pace. A phone call is seen as less polite because it must be handled in real time and can be seen as interrupting and rude. So you have a lot of young people who would only ever call if it was an emergency, since anything that could be handled by a text or email was seen as preferable. And since they aren't used to phone calls, they are often nervous because they don't have the experience making them, and they already feel like they are imposing or disrupting by doing so. Another reply reads, by Uvoka, personally, I prefer text or email so that I have a paper trail. I can't write at the speed of verbal conversation, so even taking notes during the call, I sometimes miss stuff and then have to text them anyways to ensure we're on the same page. Also, I don't have to keep track of the note or whatever, I just scroll in the conversation to find the message. How is it possible that some people disappear into the bathroom for 20 minutes? For our next story, this is posted in No Stupid Questions. User Domo01 asks, how do some people take so long to poop? Growing up, my dad would spend like 10 minutes in the bathroom after work. I didn't think much of it, just a dad thing. Now that I'm an adult, I'm surprised it's so common. 3 of my coworkers spend 15 to 20 minutes in the bathroom multiple times a week. All of them are male, as I've noticed. I don't even think I eat that well. If I have the urge, sit down, it's out in a minute. If it doesn't in a few minutes, I attribute the feeling to go to things in my gut just moving around. Forget about it for a few hours, and next time I go to the bathroom, I'm good. Are people sitting on the toilet for that long waiting for something to happen? Does it literally take that long to finish? My coworkers sometimes need others to break them out of their station to go to the bathroom, so I assume there's a sense of urgency. But then they take enough time doing it that if it was me, I'd assume I didn't actually have to go as much as I thought, and hopefully try again later if I'm feeling it. And why is it so normal? 20 minutes is enough time to make a meal, play with a dog, do minor chores, play a short round of game, or many other things. I'd be breaking down my doctor's door if I spent that much time near daily on the toilet. Yet I have to walk halfway across the building to break out a coworker so he can go take a dump for longer than our lunch breaks. And then no one questions it? I won't accept the answer of hanging out in the bathroom to do other stuff like be on your phone. Fine if others do, but I don't exactly consider the bathroom a relaxing hangout spot I'd like to be in. And not an excuse for any of my coworkers in particular because I work a job where being on your phone, reading, watching videos during downtime is pretty much the norm. No need to go to the bathroom to do it. For an update, Jesus, it was a poop question. I didn't expect it to blow up. Thank you to those who responded genuinely and kindly. And I'm sorry to those with gastrointestinal issues. And to the rest, there's grass out there if you ever leave the bathroom. Also, for the many comments asking me why it's my business, because I am usually trying to do my own thing at work. And since it happens nearly every day, I am frequently being called to walk across the building to break out whoever where I do their job plus mine, or depending on the station, at least doing their job while a different coworker covers my station plus their job. If they take long poops during their breaks or at home, I don't know, and I don't care. Our work is 24/7 and expected to be acted on ASAP, and the volume doesn't change if we have 3 people working or 7. To be clear, because I'm still getting angry comments about being anti-phone response, I don't care when people waste their own time or the company time. I care when they waste my time. I was trying to avoid the answer that my coworkers are simply rude. That's all. For the top replies, Not Today 7812 replied, I've always just assumed many men have no stigma around pooping like women do, so they're not embarrassed to go in there and just sit for a long time and have everyone know they're pooping. I've had coworkers even walk into the bathroom carrying a newspaper. I don't even like to carry my own purse into the bathroom at work because I think everyone will know I have my period. I have a friend who conditioned herself to not be able to poop unless she's reading. She says she reads the back of shampoo bottles or something if she doesn't have a phone or magazine to read. I think people are like that. They have mental conditions they have to cross before they can produce. I mean, OP, everyone has their own ritual to feel relaxed so it goes out. I do understand where you're coming from, but sometimes people just like to poop during company times. Next story is from AskReddit. User Julio Jack asked, What's the most gambling addiction story you've ever heard? Atticus XJ replied, My buddy used to work in the kitchen at a casino. He was put on the buffet floor for breakfast. Some lady comes up to him and asks if he can bag up some of the bread because she gambled everything overnight and had no food to make her kids lunch for school. He gave her some bread and a gambling support hotline card. She complained and he got suspended. This Party Rules replied, I worked in a casino coffee shop, and although they had these gambling addiction pamphlets, I heard but was never explicitly told by a supervisor that handing those to people is super not okay. But if somebody asks for one specifically, you can point them to it. I served alcohol and I'd legally get in trouble if I overserved somebody and they crashed their car or whatever. But there was no mechanism to cut somebody off if it looked like they were gambling in a problematic way. Jalich replied, Back in 1987, I was in high school and had a part-time job at a fast food restaurant. An assistant manager transfers into our store. He's a middle-aged bald dude named Dave. And we hit it off really well. He was married and had kids, and we'd sit in a break room cracking jokes and laughing. This always made time go faster. He wasn't there long as he got promoted to run his own store somewhere else in town. That sucked because the primary stress of the job is wondering if you're going to have to deal with bad managers, and he was not one of those. Anyway, some time goes by and he shows up out of nowhere. His whole demeanor had changed. He was still friendly to me, but it was like he'd gone through a midlife crisis. He's smacking on his gum and his whole verbal demeanor had changed to that of someone much younger. As well as his clothing. He was dressed like a teenager. He'd also lost a lot of weight. Fast forward to a month or so and he ends up swiping the daily bank deposit and all the money in the safe. He flew to Las Vegas and ended things there. I think he jumped from an upper floor, but I'm not sure as it's been a long time. And I tried putting it out of my mind after it happened. I was mostly 16 years old and it rattled me. I never had anything like that happen to anyone I knew. I actually talked to my mother about it for a couple of hours because I was so upset. I always thought it was gambling, but typing this out, I'm thinking it was substances. Probably something else. It would explain the weight loss and behavioral changes. I also don't think it was gambling because back in 1987, there was no casinos anywhere in the area. The state lottery didn't show up until several years later. I apologize. It started out as a sad tale of gambling, and I think now it wasn't. His poor wife and kids. And now those kids are probably somewhere out there missing their dad. It doesn't really help that there are a lot more ways to get into gambling today, especially with online betting and stuff like that. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. This is Xaynew Stories, and I'll see you on the next one.